people are asking for one more story. I could do that. You guys up for one more story? My story?
Yeah, you got one.
Yeah, this is a 100% true story from when I was a kid. Now, I don't know all the details down to a T like these people do. I always give people credit when they're able to so vividly remember everything from something when they're so young. Maybe it's just me and I just can't. But I can remember a terrifying thing that happened to me. I want to say, not quite 10 years old. Like I said, I don't know for a fact. We had a house growing up for a while before I moved into the city and met you guys, where I was out in the country. And so I'm just painting the picture here, the scenery of it. So you didn't really see a lot of people. We had like one neighbor, but you couldn't really, couldn't really see their house. So it was secluded. I'm saying it's secluded is what I'm saying. One night I was laying in bed and I had fallen asleep. And I had a bunk bed, and I had a step sibling at this point in time. And step sibling, my younger brother, step sibling, slept on the top bunk. I slept on the bottom bunk. I woke up in the middle of the night, and the way the bed sits in the room, you can see out the door into the kitchen. I woke up in the middle of the night, and for whatever reason, I don't know why, I looked around the room, and you know how it is when you first wake up and you look back on things, you're like, was I dreaming or not? Right? Like you consider that. Was this a dream? Did it really happen? I looked around the room and I saw the brand new Michael Jordan poster I had put on the wall in my room that day. Glass of water. I remember getting a drink of the glass of water sitting on my bedside. And as I laid back down, my little brother's arm was hanging over the step brother's arm was hanging over the edge of the top bunk. I laid down and kind of turned my head to the side, and I could see out the door into the kitchen. And when I looked out there, there were 3 figures standing out in the kitchen, middle of the kitchen. Not terribly far away. I'd say about 10 feet away, probably. It's very dark. And the height of these and size of these individuals was interesting because, or entities, I don't know what it was. It was humanoid shaped, I guess you could say. The size of them was very interesting because it was like 3 perfectly varying sizes. You know how you see those sizes on bumper stickers, like a family, like back of a window or something? You'll have like the dad, the mom, and the kid. Right. Heck, some of them get cute and have a dog on it. This was not the scenario. So the first person that I could see to my right would have been its left, was the tallest, then the shortest, than the smallest. And I couldn't see their faces. It just looked like the color of skin, peach, like a very circular form of a face with no figures on the face at all. Granted, it was dark in the room, but the size of everything was just so perfect, if that makes sense. It was odd. And they were waving at me in sequence. So one's hand would go one way, the other one's hand would go the same way. All of them. Back and forwards. I'm terrified. I don't know what to do because the way the house was laid out, my dad's room is clear across the house. So I'm young and I think if I scream for help, something bad might happen to me or my dad or my brother. I don't know. Because it's a long hall. This person's literally between the room outside the kitchen and me, and then my dad's room clear across the house, and my stepmom's room as well. I didn't know what to do, so I laid there and I closed my eyes really tight, right? Like, gonna pretend that I'm asleep, they're gonna go away. And it didn't. I opened my eyes back up, they're still there waving at me, appear to be staring at me, which I say that's odd because I couldn't see anything on their face, but they were facing me perfectly, just waving. So I hid under the blankets, and I waited what felt like for an eternity. And I took the blankets off my head. And they're still there waving at me. And I'm just terrified as a kid. I don't know what to do. I just hide under the blankets for so long, I eventually fell asleep. Then when I woke up for school, everything was fine. I still to this day don't know, was this a dream or did it really happen?
Oh. Yeah, okay. That's definitely terrifying. But that definitely goes back to how I was talking about that I actually do believe in these like supernatural things.
Yeah.
Maybe if I get it wrong, I could probably, uh, more perfectly remember stories of my own like that. But that also goes back to what I was talking about. Like, what about it when they can see you? Right, it's one thing where it's like, oh, there's
Something weird going
shadow.
on. Yeah.
But you can be like, well, maybe they don't see me yet. But when you said they were waving at you, it's undeniable. And it's like, I can't.
That was actually the most terrifying part of that story.
Yeah.
I was, at that point, I was like, no.
It was so weird because then, like I said, I go back to what was I sleep? Was this a dream? And I brought up the poster and taking the drink of the glass of water because it just seemed so real. Now I get you can have a dream so real. I get that.
Yeah, that one's definitely in the books of like, what's that?
So years later, it was on MySpace because I haven't really told the story too much. I had told somebody the story and they claimed to be a what do you call it, a medium, like a what's another thing, like a psychic,
Spiritualist.
yeah. And I told them that story, and they said, and the lady said to me, "Wait, do you still live there? Good. You need to make sure that you don't even think about it. Just make sure you're not even thinking about it. Just move on from it." I said, "Why?" She's like, "I'm not going to tell you why, but I'm just glad you're not near there." And I was thinking, like, what the heck? What the hell?
Wow.
Like, then I tried to look up into it. There's a lot of different things out there and theories on stuff. Most of the stuff you'll find is like shadow people, but this just seems so much more real.
Those shadow people.
Yeah, there's a lot of different demonic things that are connected to things like that. But I'll never know, never experience anything like it again. And I certainly would never want to. But for me as a kid, and still to this day, I sleep with the door closed because
Yeah.
it was weird for me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely gonna be making sure my door's closed. I'm gonna be looking into my bed tonight, just in case.